The morning rush at Bright Mart Grocery in Cedar Falls, Ohio, was already in full swing when Maya Collins clocked in. At just 22, Maya had mastered the rhythm of the store, smiling at customers, scanning items at lightning speed, and pretending her life wasn't quietly falling apart behind her cheerful grin. Today was payday, except most of her check would disappear instantly into rent, her mother's medical bills, and the never-ending student loan reminders piled on her phone. Still, she whispered to herself, "Keep going, Maya. Something good has to happen eventually." As she straightened the gum rack near the register, the automatic doors slid open with their usual chime. But this time, something felt different. An elderly woman stepped inside, slow, careful, clutching a worn leather purse to her chest as if it contained her whole world. Her silver hair was tied neatly, but her clothes looked a bit too thin for the cold morning. She paused at the entrance, breathing heavily. Maya noticed instantly. "Are you okay, ma'am?" she called gently. The woman didn't answer at first. Instead, she scanned the bustling store with wide, confused eyes, as if she wasn't sure where she was anymore. Finally, she whispered, I'm looking for the baking aisle." Maya offered her warmest smile. "I can take you there. My name's Maya." The woman nodded slowly. Eleanor Whitford." Something in Eleanor's voice sounded fragile. Too fragile. Maya walked beside her, matching her slow pace. As they moved down the aisles, Maya noticed Eleanor's hands trembled. Her breathing grew uneven. By the time they reached aisle 7, Eleanor suddenly grabbed Maya's arm. "Maya, I can't breathe." Maya reacted instantly. She helped Eleanor lean against the shelf and called out, "Danny, get some water." Her co-worker sprinted over, handing Maya a cold bottle. Customers began staring. Mrs. Green, the strict store manager, approached with her arms crossed. "What's happening here?" she demanded. "She needs help," Maya said firmly. Eleanor tried to speak but could barely get the words out. My medication, I left it at home." Maya didn't hesitate. "Mrs. Green, I'm taking her outside for fresh air." "You're still on the clock," Mrs. Green snapped. Maya ignored her. She guided Eleanor outside to the bench near the parking lot. Eleanor's breathing slowly steadied, but tears gathered in her eyes. "I'm so sorry," the old woman whispered. "I didn't know who else to ask." "You're not alone," Maya said softly. "I'm right here." What Maya didn't know, helping this fragile stranger would soon lead her to a hidden fortune and change both their lives forever. Maya stayed with Eleanor until her breathing fully calmed. The winter wind brushed against their faces, and cars rolled by in the parking lot, but Maya kept her focus on the frail woman beside her. "Do you have family nearby?" Maya asked gently. Eleanor shook her head. "No, not anymore." Something about the way she said it, like she was used to being alone, pulled at Maya's heart. "I can drive you home after my shift," Maya offered. No, Eleanor insisted softly. "I don't want to be a burden." "You're not," Maya replied. "And you're shaking. Let me help." At that moment, Mrs. Green marched outside, arms stiff and jaw tight. "Maya, you left your register unattended again," she snapped. "Customers are complaining." Maya bit back her frustration. She almost fainted. "Please, just give me 5 minutes." Mrs. Green crossed her arms. 5 minutes, then you're back inside." When the manager left, Eleanor whispered, "I didn't mean to get you in trouble." Maya smiled. "It's worth it." A long silence followed before Eleanor spoke again, this time hesitantly. "Would you walk me home?" she asked. "Of course." The walk to Eleanor's house took 10 minutes, but every step revealed something new and concerning. Eleanor lived in a crumbling, decades-old brick home squeezed between newer, remodeled houses. The porch sagged, paint peeled from the window frames. A broken mailbox leaned sideways. "This is your place?" Maya asked softly. "It was nicer once," Eleanor said, embarrassed. "Please don't judge the mess. I haven't had much strength to clean lately." Inside, the house felt cold. Not dirty, but silent, lonely. The heater rattled weakly. Family photos covered in dust sat crooked along the mantel. One picture caught Maya's attention. A younger Eleanor standing in front of a huge mansion with a man who looked like a businessman or investor. "You looked happy there," Maya said, pointing. Eleanor flinched. "That was a long time ago." She shuffled toward the kitchen cabinet, searching for her medication. The cabinet was nearly empty. An expired soup can, stale crackers, and 2 tea bags. "You haven't been eating," Maya said quietly. "It's been tight lately," Eleanor admitted. "My pension barely covers the utilities." "Pension?" Maya frowned. Someone who once lived in a mansion shouldn't be struggling to buy food. But before she could ask, Eleanor swayed again. Maya caught her. "You need a doctor." "No hospitals," Eleanor insisted. "Just help me sit." Maya helped her onto the couch. "Maya," Eleanor whispered, gripping her hand. "There's something I haven't told you. Something important." Her voice trembled. "I wasn't always poor." She swallowed hard. "I used to be a millionaire." Maya blinked, unsure if she heard correctly. "A millionaire?" she repeated. Eleanor nodded slowly, eyes distant. "A long time ago, before everything fell apart." The room felt heavier now. The ticking of an old wall clock echoed through the silence. Maya sat beside her, giving her time to continue. "My husband, Richard Whitford, he was a real estate investor," Eleanor said. "We owned apartments, vacation homes, even land along the coast. People thought we'd stay wealthy forever." Maya listened, stunned. "What happened?" she asked gently. "Poor decisions, greedy partners, lawsuits," Eleanor whispered. "By the time Richard passed away, everything was frozen in legal battles. I was left with nothing but this house." She wiped a tear. "And I kept hoping something would come back, that maybe one of those investments would recover. But years went by." She looked around the empty home. "And I disappeared from the world." Maya squeezed her hand. "You don't deserve to struggle alone." Eleanor's eyes softened. "You remind me of my granddaughter." Maya felt her throat tighten. "Where is she?" "I don't know," Eleanor said sadly. "We lost contact after the family drifted apart. I haven't spoken to her since she was 8. Silence hung in the air. Eleanor suddenly motioned toward a worn wooden box on the coffee table. "Open it," she whispered. Maya lifted the lid. Inside were old property documents, faded legal letters, and keys, dozens of keys. "What is all this?" Maya asked. "These are what's left of my husband's holdings," Eleanor said. "Most of it was lost. But one property, might still be mine. A storage building we forgot about." She pointed shaky fingers at a crumpled paper titled Whitford Storage Facility, Unit D13. "I've never been able to go," Eleanor added. "I'm too weak, and I have no one to help me." Maya felt something spark inside her. Hope, purpose. "I'll take you," she said firmly. "Tomorrow." Eleanor stared at her with disbelief. "You would do that for me?" "Yes," Maya said. "Whatever's in that unit, you deserve to know." Just then, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Mrs. Green. "If you're not back in 10 minutes, don't bother coming in tomorrow." Maya sighed. She knew what that meant. "Go," Eleanor whispered. "You can't lose your job because of me." But Maya stood, shoulders squared. "I'll deal with the job," she said. "Right now, you come first." Eleanor's eyes welled with tears, not from weakness, but from gratitude she hadn't felt in years. "Maya," she whispered, voice trembling, I don't think you understand. That storage unit could change everything. And neither of them knew just how true that was. The next morning, Maya arrived at Eleanor's house before sunrise. She helped the elderly woman into her car, tucked a blanket around her, and drove toward the outskirts of Cedar Falls, toward the old Whitford storage facility. Fog drifted across the road as they arrived at a row of aging storage units. The sign was rusted, one light flickering above the gate. "You sure this is it?" Maya asked. "Yes," Eleanor whispered. "Unit D13. They walked together down the long corridor of metal doors until they reached a faded red one with peeling white numbers. Eleanor held out a trembling hand. "The key? Try it." Maya slid the small bronze key into the lock. It clicked. With a deep breath, she lifted the door. Inside was darkness. Dust floated through the air like forgotten memories. Maya stepped in first, pulling the chain to turn on the dim ceiling light. What they saw made Eleanor gasp. The unit wasn't full of junk. It was filled with sealed wooden crates, locked boxes, and a large metal cabinet with her husband's initials engraved on it. R.W. Maya cracked open a crate. Inside were neatly stacked folders, property deeds, investment records, and legal documents. "Maya," Eleanor whispered, These were the assets Richard hid during the lawsuits, so they wouldn't be stolen." Maya grabbed another folder and read aloud. "Whitford Lakeside Apartments, sole owner, Eleanor Whitford." Eleanor covered her mouth. "That building must be worth millions now," Maya said, stunned. Her hands shook harder as she opened a metal box near the back. Inside were old appraisal papers showing the value of several forgotten properties, land, rentals, and even a small hotel. This can't be real," Eleanor cried softly. "It is," Maya said. "You're not poor. You're the legal owner of all of this." Eleanor sank onto a crate, tears streaming down her face. "But I could have died never knowing." Maya put a steady hand on her shoulder. "But you didn't. You're here, and your life is about to change." Eleanor suddenly took Maya's hands in hers. "And so is yours." Before Maya could speak, Eleanor said, "You stayed with me. You helped me. You showed me kindness when no one else would. I want you beside me as we rebuild this. I want to hire you as my full-time assistant. A real salary, benefits, stability." Maya froze. "Eleanor, I don't know what to say." "Say yes," the old woman whispered. "Please." Maya looked around the storage unit, at the wealth, the history, the impossible comeback, and then at Eleanor's hopeful eyes. She smiled. "Yes." That day, Maya drove Eleanor home not as a struggling cashier, but as a woman whose life was finally turning around. And Eleanor? She was no longer a forgotten millionaire, but a woman who found a friend, a partner, and a new beginning. Both of their lives were changed forever.